Introduction, why physical reserve matters. If you're between 60 and 80 and you can still do these 7 things, you're not just doing well for your age, you're protecting the one thing most people are terrified of losing: independence. I'm a board-certified anesthesiologist, and before every surgery, I assess a patient's physical reserve: how strong their heart is, how well their lungs work, and how easily they move, and how much stress their body can handle. And I've seen this difference up close. 2 patients, same age, same surgery. One climbs onto the operating table herself, joking with the nurses. The other needs 2 people just to help them up. The gap usually isn't random. After more than 2 decades of seeing patients every single day, you start seeing the same patterns in people who stay strong into their 60s, 70s, and 80s. So today, I'll show you 7 abilities that you can check for yourself, most of them right in your own living room, and what each one tells you about how well your body is aging. The first thing I want to talk, walking speed, the medical vital sign about is your walking speed, because researchers genuinely call it a vital sign. Just like heart rate or blood pressure, your gait speed gives a window into what's happening throughout your entire body. The reason for this is because walking efficiently requires your cardiovascular system, your muscles, your joints, your balance system, and your brain to all coordinate at once. When walking speed slows down, it's often the earliest visible sign that one of those systems is starting to struggle, even before any single problem shows up on a test. Studies tracking older adults have found that people who walk faster tend to live longer, and their relationship holds up even after accounting for other health conditions. A comfortable pace of about 3 feet per second or faster is associated with better outcomes. Significantly slower than that tends to correlate with higher risk. Here's the reassuring part: walking speed is trainable. With regular walking, especially with intervals where you pick up the pace, can measurably improve it. Okay, let's talk about grip strength, your muscle reserve proxy, something that surprises a lot of people, and that is grip strength. It seems like such a small, specific measurement, but your hand grip is actually a proxy for your overall muscle strength and what's called your physiologic reserve. Basically, how much capacity your body has in the bank. Grip strength correlates closely with strength in larger muscle groups throughout the body, and low grip strength has been linked in research to higher risk of falls, slower recovery from illness or surgery, and even reduced longevity. It's one of the simplest, cheapest tests in medicine, and it tells us a surprising amount. The encouraging news is that grip strength responds well to resistance training. Even simple things like carrying groceries or using resistant bands, basic strength exercises twice a week, can move that number in the right direction at almost any age. The next indicator that you are aging very well, cardiopulmonary fitness, VO2 max, relates to cardiopulmonary fitness. Cardiopulmonary fitness is essentially how efficiently your heart and lungs deliver oxygen to your working muscles. This is measured in research as V2 max, which is actually something you can monitor if you have an iWatch. V2 has consistently shown up as one of the single strongest predictors of longevity we have. In some studies, a stronger predictor than smoking status or diabetes. And the why makes sense. A body that can deliver and use oxygen efficiently has more reserve to handle illness, surgery, or infections, or just the everyday demands of staying active. The good news here is significant. Cardiopulmonary fitness is one of the most responsive things to training a tiny age. Regular aerobic activity like brisk walking, cycling, swimming, or anything that elevates your heart rate consistently improves it measurably. Balance and fall prevention, even when it started later in life. Okay, let's talk about balance, because this one connects directly to the fear a lot of people have about aging, which is falling. Balance depends on your inner ear, your vision, the sensation in your feet, and your muscle strength, all working together and communicating with your brain in real time. As we age, each of those systems can quietly decline, and balance is often the first place that shows up. The big take-home point here is that falls aren't just an injury risk. A serious fall in your 70s or 80s is one of the leading triggers for losing independence altogether. And that's exactly why balance training, things like simple leg stands, Tai Chi, or simple stability drills, has such an outsized impact on long-term outcomes. If you want a simple way to track your own balance over time, something as basic as how long you can stand on one leg with your eyes open is a meaningful, trackable number. The next sign that shows that you are doing the sitting, rising, floor test really well with aging. And the last ability that I want to discuss is the ability to get up off the floor without using your hands or arms for support. This is a real validated assessment used in aging research, sometimes called the sitting rising test. The why behind it is pretty powerful. It requires leg strength, core strength, balance, flexibility, and coordination simultaneously. It's essentially a full-body stress test disguised as a simple movement. Research following adults over time found that people who couldn't complete this movement without support had a meaningfully higher mortality risk over the following years compared to those who could. It's not about being acrobatic, it's about whether your body retains the combined strength and coordination that everyday independence actually requires. Now, the takeaway here isn't to panic. If you can't do it right now, it's trainable. And even practicing the components like squatting, kneeling, pushing up from a low position builds back that capability. So the big thing that I want you to remember is this: longevity isn't mostly about a number on a lab report. It's about whether your body retains the strength, speed, and coordination to keep doing the things that make life feel like yours. The encouraging part is that every single one of these 5 markers, walking speed, grip strength, cardiopulmonary fitness, balance, and getting up off the floor, responds to training at almost any age. If this gave you a clearer picture of where to focus, make sure you subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss any future videos. Be sure to leave comments about what you can do in the description box below. And in the meantime, stay strong, stay capable, and I'll see you in the next